We'll wait until 5:15, okay? Just to make sure everybody gets enough time to log in.
Thank you, baby.
Okay.
I think it's time. 5:15.
Okay. I have it set up for you. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Great. So I have it set up to where everything that we do is on the screen for you as well, so that way people know what we're doing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you go right ahead.
Yeah, okay. Alrighty, welcome everyone. I will go ahead and call the meeting to order at 5:16 p.m. Also, if there's anyone in public participation, please raise your hand. There is a button that you can click. And you do have 2 minutes to speak when we are on public participation. So I'll go ahead and call everyone. And just unmute yourself and stay present. Okay. Mr. Perez.
Present.
Mr. Ortiz.
Present.
Mr. Calderon.
Present. Present.
Thank you. Ms. Morehouse.
Present.
Ms. Lajarde.
Present.
Mrs. Flores.
Present.
And myself, Ms. Torres. Thank you. So, all right, we'll go ahead and move forward to approval of agenda. Aprobación de la agenda.
We have
As
quorum.
you guys- Yes. Yes, we do. We'll go ahead and move forward to approval of agenda, aprobación de la agenda. So if everybody could just kind of briefly take a look at the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, I second that motion. So Mr. Perez, motion to approve the agenda. I second that motion. Ms. Torres, all in favor, just kind of either raise your hand or say aye.
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 Okay,
It's
so
unanimous.
okay, so the motion does pass. So we'll move forward to approval of previous meeting minutes, aprobación de los minutos del mes anterior. As you guys already know, minutes, our meetings are actually, due to the pandemic, are recorded. So they are live or uploaded on our YouTube page. Does anyone have any questions in regards of the minutes? No. Oh. Okay, so I'll go ahead and motion to approve the minutes for a previous month.
Second.
Okay, so I motion to approve the minutes. Mr. Perez second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 So it looks like everyone is in favor, so we'll move forward to LSC Chair report, reporte de la Presidenta. I do not have a report at this time, so we can go ahead and move forward to Professional Personal Leadership Committee, PPLC. It's their report.
Yes. Can you give me 1 second here?
Yes, of course.
Locate that. Okie dokie. So we met on January 21st. And basically, the teachers are saying that the Engage New York math curriculum, mainly, I think when it comes to the word problems, can be extremely difficult for most of our students. Some professional development that teachers are looking into or would like to look into is parent involvement and possibly personal finance or like health and wealth or ways to save and manage your money and reduce your debt or ways to save. So if there's ever any money for professional development, they would like something like that. Not like, you know, where they're going to come and say, okay, start investing in this, or put all your money here, but more of a plan or a way to manage. And then in regards to lesson plans and agendas, they're asking, please do not add any more. Please be mindful of depth versus breadth, because so far the teachers are writing lesson plans for small group instruction, social emotional learning, basically reading and math, or an agenda for reading and math, science, social studies. And they're wondering if there's a way to consolidate all that. And basically that is it.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. So I have a question for you. You were just speaking about engagement. I'm sorry, can you repeat about your something about benefit? What did you just mention? Because I think I just heard something that did not have to do with students.
The curriculum?
Budget.
Financial.
Oh, the
Financial.
finance? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just asking for professional development.
No, you
Mainly-
spoke about personal finances. Was that what
That was one of the things that they're interested in, yeah.
So but my question is, how does that connect to the education of students?
Well, I mean, they do have a Money Smart Week that it can roll into math, like basically how to balance a checkbook for students. You know, like ways to save your money or manage your money.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I just don't see how that connects or relates to teaching or benefiting
Well,
the
Yeah,
education.
in
of students.
8th grade, say in 8th grade, for example, if you want the kids to be ready for college and career, it helps if they had, you know, like, say if they had a debit card, right? Because the minute you reach college, they bombard you with credit cards, like enroll, you've been pre-approved, sign up now. So to expose the kids in the middle school to finance, in my opinion, that is not such a horrible idea. To teach them, like, what is a checkbook? I know they barely know what that is because I know they barely use that anymore. But so then it boils down to maybe having a debit card. If you were to, you know, like if you see something and you want to buy it and you just buy it, but now you have to pay it back, like, do they start to understand what that really means? Anyway, it's just a suggestion. It's just something that the teachers are interested. They would prefer parent involvement, like ways to get the parents involved in their kids' education would be top priority.
And I think that's a great priority. When we think about our priorities for the CIWP and the priorities that we have under curriculum and MTSS, you know, when we start to think about what the professional development should look like when it comes to instruction, I think that is where, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's where Mr. Boyd and Ms. Torres were kind of like, how is that connecting to the instruction of students when we are working with, you just said Eureka Math, which is really great, that there was something with Eureka Math and the word problems being too hard. So if word problems are being too hard, then maybe we need to think about professional development on math word problems and or reading math word problems, right, with fluency and being able to fluently read them. Anybody else have a question or a comment? And just so you know, Ms. Morehouse is not the only member on the PPLC. Ms. Lejarda is also a part of that, being the member on here too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's conducted by the two teachers. So for those that don't know, PPLC is conducted by the two teachers on the LSC, which you just adjust, you know, recommendations to the LSC. Does anybody else need to add anything or have any questions? No. All right, so if there is no questions, comments, or concerns, and we'll just go ahead and move forward to, thank you, Ms. Morehouse, to Sustainable Community Schools. Perez, I'm not able to.
I have it.
Okay, yeah, I'm not able to pull up that report right now.
Yeah, so the Sustainable Community Schools, the report was submitted. As of right now, we have started launching, again, I'm reading this verbatim, so you guys know this is coming from Ms. Acevedo and the Sustainable Community Schools Committee. We launched our phase 2 programs on January 11th. The programs that we have are Mondays, 4:15 to 5:15. We have Express Yourself Through Art for grades 3 and 4 and 5 and 8. That program is at the moment full. On Tuesdays, we have Go Noodle exercise for kindergarten through 3rd grade, 4:15 to 5:15. We have Dancing with Children or Dancing for Kids, 5:15 to 6:15 on Tuesdays. And then from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we have Yoga for Parents. And we're still looking for parents who are interested in learning more about yoga. You will get a yoga kit that goes with that. On Wednesdays, we have from 4:15 to 5:15 homework help for 3rd grade through 8th grade. And then we also have from 5:15 to 6:15 classroom to table for grades 3 and 4. And that is exactly what it is. So it's where they're teaching kids how to grow fruits and vegetables in their home and then utilize them as meals also. So teaching them also how to cook them and spice them. On Thursdays, we have family cooking from 4:15 to 5:15. And then Fridays, we have 4:15 to 5:15 yoga and meditation for grades 3 to 8. And 5 to 6 p.m. on Fridays, we have yoga for parents. On Saturdays, one of our really popular programs, we have martial arts. And martial arts is for families, so it's adult and student. Just as a reminder, there is a parent workshop fun night on March 6th, starting at 5 o'clock. March 6th is a Saturday. We will be doing a painting project with for adults. So any adult, any parent who's interested needs to just register, and then we will get you a painting kit, and we will make sure we deliver it to your house. So that is going to be in Spanish and in English for anybody who's interested in painting. So it's similar to what they would call a paint and sip for any adult. We are continuing our COVID-19 support. So we still have toiletry kits and new coats for Yates families. If you did not receive a coat during our coat drive last semester, you can contact Ms. Acevedo to get a coat. We also continue to work closely to bring resources to our families like Chicago Connected, hygiene kits, laundry detergent, and hand soap for those families who need it. And we continue to update resources such as COVID testing sites in the Humboldt Park area and or where you can get food. These resources are all located on the Yates website under the SES tab. We are still hiring for our restorative justice coach position. We are accepting applications at the moment, and we will begin interviewing soon. Our next committee meeting is Thursday, January 28th, which is tomorrow at 4:15. If you are interested, the link is on our website and can be obtained by Ms. Acevedo. That is the end of the SES report.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay, thank you, Perez. All right, so we'll move forward to Parent Advisory Committee, Comité Asesor de Padres. So, I mean, we'll go back to previous meetings. As I mentioned, no one has really joined the PPLC other than myself and actually myself and Perez. So we do need parents to join. I'm not sure if Mr. Boyd that's here and Ms. Flores that's here can join, you know, the PPLC, but there are funds there that need to be used. We haven't been able to use any of those funds just because, you know, of no one being on the committee. So we just pretty much just need to kind of set a date and see if parents will log in. Mr. Perez, do you want to add anything to the Parent Advisory Committee?
No, let's you and I meet offline to try to do another parent meeting digitally and see if we can get at least 6 parents. Miss Marilyn Flores, I know you're on the line. Mr. Boyd, Miss Torres. I guess we should start with you 3 when your availability is, and we can go from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, anytime.
Say that again.
I say anytime before 5. I work overnight, so from 7 to 5, from 7 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, I'll be good.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll try something possibly like at 3 or 2 p.m.
Yeah, that'll be okay.
Okay, great. Miss Flores, does that work for you? 3?
No, it's fine. Está bien. Esta
Okay.
hora.
Okay.
Do you guys just want to set up a date now that we are speaking about it?
Yes, you can.
Is everybody available? I don't know, maybe next Wednesday. Let's see, it's a week from now,
Wednesday.
Yeah.
the 3rd.
I'm like I
No,
said, anytime in the day tomorrow.
ni el 3 ni el 4. I'm sorry.
Okay, do you guys want to do? You guys want to do the following Wednesday, the 10th at 3 p.m.?
Okay, yeah.
Don't matter.
Mr. Boyd, are you okay with that? On the 10th, February the 10th
Any
at
day,
3 p.m.?
it doesn't matter as long as it's in between 7 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon. You can do it any day you want. It really doesn't
All right,
matter.
so then we're setting it up for us for February the 10th at 3 p.m. That should be sufficient time to also send out robocalls or emails.
Perfect.
So
I put it on my calendar. I'll send that out, okay?
All right, so then we're all set for the 10th, February the 10th. All right, does anybody else have any questions or comments, concerns?
Are teachers allowed to be on that committee or no?
Teachers are allowed, it's a parent advisory committee. They're allowed to attend.
Yeah, you can attend.
Well, not at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah. Not at 3 o'clock in the afternoon unless you have a prep. But there are no teachers that are on the committee.
There's no one on the committee.
No, I know, but it's not made for it's not a committee where teachers are involved on. It's usually just for parents.
Okay. Okay.
So what we're trying to do is organize to get parents on the committee. Then we can set up regular meetings after that to then have anybody attend.
All righty. Just double checking, just so you know, because trying to help out.
No, definitely so, and I hear you. The point, we just need to get parents to come to the meeting, and then from there we can set up regular meetings for teachers and anybody who would like to attend. This is really the organizational meeting to begin to elect officers.
Okay, so then we'll move forward to the principal's report. For us, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I sent out in an email copies of the current budget report. We have not gone over that in quite a while, so I wanted to make sure that you guys had that. I'm going to go over some of the major expenses that we have made in the last few months since September. So on your screen, you're kind of seeing it, but I'll just kind of read it to you. We ordered 10 smart screens at $37,652, which they were essentially $3,588 each. We ordered 8 MacBooks. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but they're saying they can't see you on YouTube.
They can't see me on
They
YouTube.
can't see this.
I'm seeing it on YouTube.
Okay.
Are they at the Yates ELEM CPS? That's where they should be. There's only 2 people watching right now.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, because I don't see what they see or what you see, but oh, well, I'm just
Okay.
letting you know that's what they told me, so,
All right, I have the YouTube up right now.
okay, sorry about that.
No problem. So we ordered 10 smart screens. One of the commitments I made to teachers was to ensure that they had smart screens in their room in order to be able to teach when we came back to school. We also ordered 8 MacBooks, which was at $11,000 total, which were $1,400 each. And then we ordered 15 Dell computers at $17,000, which were $1,135 each. And then we are proposing to get a new keyless entry system for our doors, because at the moment we're having issues with the codes and sending codes out and then kids having codes. So we are looking to upgrade to a fob system. These are the major expenditures we have had this year. As you saw, I don't know if you took a look at the budget, but we have a lot of funding right now that we need to spend down. Every teacher was given $250 for classroom expenses. There are still a lot of teachers who have not spent that. So we really need to start spending that down, because we are in January headed to February. And then that money is taken away at the end of May. There were also teachers who asked for specific subscriptions to Reading A to Z, to BrainPop, and to News to You, which is an extension to the unique curriculum. I'm waiting to hear more back for the News to You, but the Reading A to Z was extended. And so IXL was also extended. Reading A to Z was extended. And then some of the things that are coming up, and this is going for the teachers who are on the call, we need to know if we want to renew the Nearpod membership, because that is coming up at the end of this semester. And then we also need to make sure to see if we want to renew BrainPop. So those are things that I would like for you to take back to your PPLC, and please make sure that you can get me those answers by our next meeting so we can have that ready. In our internal accounts, we have about $9,000, and that's the cash that we have on hand in our bank account. That is down from $11,000 that we had last school year, being that we paid for things like trophies and medals at the end of the school last year. We have not had any fundraising this year, and that's something that I know our fundraising committee has been working on ideas, and we are very open to ideas, but we don't have any fundraising coming in. Whereas last school year, if you remember, before we left, we had already had a McDonald's night and a Chuck E. Cheese night, and we've done those in the past, and they were really well received. So that's something else that we kind of have to think about, how we can begin to fundraise for the school.
Yeah,
Those are really the major expenditures.
I was thinking, I mean, I don't see why we couldn't try to fundraise at McDonald's, because, you know, the majority of the families live in the community. And they do go to the drive-through basically anyway. So.
That's a great idea. That would be something that we could talk to the fundraising committee about.
Okay.
I'll make sure to pass that on. I know Ms. Gilbert is on that committee. And so that's all I have for budget. Are there any questions on budget before I move into our reopening plan?
No.
Okay, so we, as all of you probably have heard, right, or we know, we are scheduled to reopen with students next week on Monday. Right now, we are at a pause with what is happening between negotiations with CTU and CPS. And, you know, I'm just a messenger. So all I know is that they are still negotiating, and we're still waiting to hear back as to if teachers will return to in-person learning on Monday. According to our CEO, as of yesterday, on the news, she did say we will be returning. Every school will be open, and every school will be ready. So with that said, I just want to go over some of the things that we have done here at our school that makes us ready to receive students. So some of the things that we have done. So first, I want to go over our numbers. So right now we have a total of 123 students who will be returning to in-person learning on Monday. And for us, it'll be on Thursday, but I'll go into that. But 123 students are identified as being ready for hybrid learning. And then we'll have a total of 215 students remote. That means those students will learn continuously what they've been doing on their computer from home, which gives us our total student body, which is 338 students. And you can see how it's broken up here by grade level. So in pre-K, we have 3. In kindergarten, we will have 9 out of 11. 9 out of 20. In first grade, we'll have 6 out of 20. In our bilingual first grade, second room, we'll have 4 out of the 12. In our second grade room, we'll have 6 out of the 16, and so on and so forth. Our biggest class is our 5th grade classroom of 15 out of 35, right? And the max number is 15 for CPS to be able to have students on in different pods. So as of right now, we are set to open next week on February 4th, which is Thursday. After speaking to a lot of the teachers, we had the choice to open 4 days a week or open 2 days a week in a hybrid setting because we had such low numbers. We did decide to go with Thursday and Friday as our hybrid days, or our in-person days. And that is just to ensure that we are being safe and we're keeping everybody safe at the school, which also allows for a mitigation process to happen in case there is a COVID case at the school, right? So for example, we will be coming back to school Thursdays and Fridays. So if something happens on a Thursday or something happens on a Friday, we'll be able to have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to help with contact tracing, to help with testing and so forth, if there is an outbreak, right? So if there is a confirmed case of COVID. At the moment, there has not been a confirmed case of COVID with students in our building. So when students come to school, they will have to fill out a daily health screener. And the health screener asks these 7 questions, right? These 6 questions. In the last 24 hours, have you experienced any of these symptoms? Have you been in close contact with anybody who has tested positive? Have you traveled to a red or orange state, according to the Chicago Department of Public Health? Have you traveled internationally? Are you waiting on a COVID result? And have you tested positive for COVID-19 in the past? So if a student or if a parent answers yes to any of these questions, their phone will turn red, and then their student will not be able to come to school that day. They will have to then remain in a 10-day quarantine. If their phone turns green, then we're able to receive the student at the school. And then when the students get here at 9 o'clock, they will have doors that will be assigned to them. We have different doors assigned to different grade levels. So Francisco will only be our 4th grade and our 6th grade. The Portland Court doors will be our middle school, which is 7th and 8th. Kindergarten, first and second bilingual will come in through the playground doors, and then 5th, 3rd, and 2nd grade will come in through the main doors. All of those doors have all been ready, and they're set with our different procedures. So when they get to the door, every student will have a temperature check. Any student that has a temperature over 100.4 degrees will be sent to the care room to then have a parent come and pick them up. Students will take their breakfast at that time, and they will go to their classroom and they will eat inside their classroom. After the temperature checks, the students will have hand sanitizer as they enter the classroom and wash their hands when they come in. Students who are tardy will have to enter through the main entrance only, and the rest of the doors will be locked by 9:10 a.m. All students who enter the building are going to have to wear a face covering. We have CPS has provided face coverings for all students, and then they're available for any student who comes in the building who is not wearing one. Now, refusal to wear a face covering could lead to the inability to enter and progressive discipline. And if it continues to happen, then students will be returned to remote learning. Exceptions to this rule is students who have a medical note under the direction of the teacher. Specific processes for mask breaks will happen for those students. We have set up a parent communication plan of next week's opening. Parents should receive a letter from their child's teacher by Friday of this week of what to expect in the coming weeks and what to bring with them to school. The dean and the assistant principal are going to cover school-wide protocols and expectations for all students who return in person. And then the teachers in their classrooms will go over scheduling, classroom expectations, and then topics of what will make for a successful return. So for example, the teachers will go over bathroom breaks, water breaks, and so on. There are bathrooms that are assigned to each classroom. There will be no single bathroom break. So that means if a student has to go to the bathroom, they have to wait until their class goes. We have multiple bathroom breaks broken up into their day, so they should be able to go. If it is an emergency, then they'll be able to go use the bathroom at their emergency, and then we have to get it re-cleaned and re-sanitized in between each student use. So that's why we've scheduled the bathroom breaks throughout their day. So how is Yates Elementary ready? Some of the things that we have done that has been over and beyond CPS's things, we purchased protective shields for every desk in the building for students who are coming. We have provided stanchions that help with walking directions down the hallway, and we have implemented new cleaning and disinfecting protocols that have to do with everybody doing their part, right? So we have our custodians who are doing it as well, but then we've also provided wipes in every classroom for any teacher or any student who wants to wipe down their desk in between use. So this is some of the things and what it looks like. As you can see, we have our stanchions in our main hallway that split the middle. So we're walking on the right, and so that way it's one direction. In the other picture, you see the plastic shield over the security desk where parents and students will check in if they're tardy or if they need to go to the main office. The classroom readiness, we have purchased desk shields for each classroom, smart screens for teachers to use, computers for them to be able to use as well, not Chromebooks, and then the disinfecting protocols that I went over by adding the buckets of wipes to each classroom and air purifiers to each class. So you can see here, this is a picture of the desk shield. You can see the air purifier that every classroom will have, and then the big smart screens that we have purchased for every classroom. Any classroom that does not have a smart screen will get an LCD projector until the smart screen comes in. They are on back order. I think we're still missing just 2, and we're waiting for them to come in. We did receive one that was damaged, so we're waiting for that one to be replaced. And then we have care rooms, and I know that's been a big question amongst parents and teachers. What is the care room? What is the procedure? How does it work? So a student that is exhibiting any symptom like a fever, a cough, diarrhea, vomiting, and such symptoms will be sent to the care room for triage. At that time, we have a care room attendant. We have 2 care rooms in our building, care room 109 and care room 121. 109 is in the main building, 121 is in the east building. And then that care room attendant will follow the protocols of informing the parents, telling them what symptoms they have, and then the procedure of whether the student needs to go home or needs to go and get tested and or both things. The COVID-19 contact tracing happens by the district. So if the parent elects to report it to the district, so let's say the parent goes home and gets the student tested and the student tests positive, they can report it to the school, report it to the district office, and then from there they will begin contact tracing. Contact tracing means they will find out where the student was in the room and in a place for more than 15 minutes, and then they will begin to quarantine those areas, which is the reason why students and teachers are in their own pods. And that is all I have for our school readiness and reopening plan. Are there any questions by the council at this time?
I'm wondering, so you said no students were diagnosed with COVID in our building, but what about staff or families, or do we not get to know that information?
So the only information I have is that we have had COVID cases of adults in our building, but we have not had any since November.
I have a question for you, Perez.
Yes.
Are teachers required to get tested every so often or no?
That's a great question, actually. Thank you. So they're not required to get tested. They are allowed. The district is testing everybody in a school once a month at the minimum. But it's elective. So they can refuse if they don't want to be tested.
And then I think if I saw correctly, that picture that was, that you presented of of the student's desk, is that like a shield that just comes around, or it's that the top of it too? I couldn't see the picture clearly.
The shield goes around the desk.
Around, right?
There is no top though. There's no top. It just goes around. So what
It
that
kind
does,
of goes like it's kind of goes like this, right?
yeah, like a C.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
it's
so-
open on the top, right?
It's open on the top. Yeah. So what that's essentially supposed to prevent is sneezing and coughing. So like if a student sneezes or coughs, it goes right onto the shield, right? So I know they're supposed to be wearing their mask, but we know that if you're coughing under a mask, it does still project sometimes. So what that does is prevent it from going anywhere else other than in that student space.
So I have another question. Where teachers, if let's say that students, because it's going to happen, a student needs help because they're confused or they need help with, a problem. Is the teacher approaching the student?
Yeah, so they can, and that's another reason why we had the shields put on as well, because they can then stand on the other side of the shield and approach the student and then help them that way, right? Instead of being on the side of the student or leaning over and then being in the way of like coughing or sneezing. But teachers have been provided with masks and face shields, both,
Oh, okay, good.
so that they're able to walk around, and gloves as well.
Good. Okay.
Ok, yo tengo una pregunta, Mr. Perez.
Yes, ma'am.
Los nenes que tengan problemas, ¿cómo te digo? Problemas que no se están quietos y van a estar tumbando eso, o eso está pegado del escritorio.
No, eso está pegado al escritorio, está pegado con un tape bien, bien fuerte.
Ok. Está bien.
And students in the classroom are kept 6 feet apart from each other?
Yes, all desks, all students, chairs to chairs is 6 feet. It's 6 feet apart.
The
Y los
desk-
estudiantes, I'm sorry.
How many students will be in a classroom?
At the most 15.
Is that not a lot for one classroom?
I
That
mean,
seems
I
a
can't-
lot.
it's what CPS has given us, and so they gave us a maximum of 15. In our building, we only have one class that has 15 students.
Yeah, that seems quite a lot. I mean, 15 students and how many teachers? Just one?
In that classroom, there's 2 teachers.
So then that will be a total of 17, people in a classroom. And I think that's a lot.
That's why that class, we gave them the biggest classroom.
Mhm.
We actually had to move that classroom from the east building to the west building because of the space. And so when you have to, if you remember what our classrooms look like, they had a lot of furniture in them too. And we took all the furniture out. And the only thing that CPS allowed in there were student desks and a teacher desk. And then that's it. So we don't have any extra tables. We don't have any flexible seating. There are no carpets in there anymore because we're not allowed to have carpets because of COVID. Like all that stuff has been removed.
I guess my brain is storming right now. I guess my only concern is that if I send my child back to school, and I'll go back to the question that I said, it's CPS requiring teachers to get tested. How do I know that it's safe for the kids to go back to school or for teachers to go back to school? Since they're not being tested. I personally, like my job, I'm just going to use me as an example. My job doesn't require me to get tested, but I do it every 3 weeks, just for my own sake. So it's like, how would I know that me sending my child back to school and teachers not getting tested, it's safe?
So the teachers are so right now we haven't had any teachers refuse to get tested, and they've already started our testing from the district. But it is, again, they have the right to refuse it. Now, with the new vaccine coming out and such, I know that there's going to be vaccine sites in the area, and that's also going to be elective. So it all depends on whether the teachers want to get the vaccine and also get tested with CPS, or they want to go to their primary doctor and do it. But CPS they do have a testing protocol in place, and then they're also for any students who come back to school. So we have 123 coming back. They're going to send out information on how students can also get tested in that once a month as they're here as well. And that's good. But that's going to take some time because we have to get permission slips for that.
Got it. Got it. I don't know if we're able to, I mean, I don't know if we have money, or I don't know if someone can come, just an idea on a monthly basis to someone to come to the school and test, like free testing. I don't know if that's possible, but
Well,
I think it'll be a
that's what I'm
relief.
saying.
Yeah.
The district is already doing that.
Okay. Like on a
They're
monthly
coming,
basis.
so they come every week and they test. So every week they come and they test 25% of our staff. So then by the end of the month, they have tested 100% of our staff once a month. And then it's on a rolling basis. So if I get tested in week 1, I won't get tested till week 3.
Right.
So you're essentially getting tested every 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's actually good. That's good to know. I'm just asking all these questions because I guess for these parents that are sending the kids back,
Yeah.
like I'm actually one of them that I am considering sending my child back to school. I just want to make sure how safe is it to send my daughter back to school? You know, what precautions you guys are taking? Is it being sanitized? You know, are teachers getting tested? I mean, I wouldn't expect the teacher to refuse getting tested. I will kind of like, I mean, it will be a shock if a teacher gets, you know, actually resist getting tested. So
Yeah.
Especially with everything that's going on right now with the news that teachers want to strike.
Right.
So just kind of, that's it. That's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, no problem. And I know that there's a question that came up about, like, you know, how do we send our kids back to school if we want to send our kids back to school? Right now, the 123 students who said yes are the students who will continue now for quarter 3, which will start on February 8th. And then in quarter 4, parents will have the chance to then decide again if they want to keep their kids home or send them back to school.
And then for a parent like me, let's say I decide to send my kid back to school and a week into it or 2 weeks later, I kind of don't feel comfortable anymore. Can I keep her at home and then just go back to e-learning?
Yes. So that's the thing. When you elect for kids to say yes and come, like, to go to the school, it's easier to pull them back and put them back on remote. What we can't do until the semester ends is have somebody on remote and then 3 weeks into the semester say, I want them to come into the school. So that was really strict. The CPS has told us that we can't do that, but we can do the opposite, right? So like a lot of the parents have called me and they've asked me, and I've told them, you can say yes, you want to try it out for 2 weeks. You don't like it, put them back on remote. That's up to you, right? But you can't have them on remote and then 3 weeks into the semester say, I want them to come to school. Because it has to do with the pods, right? And so we're keeping the pods together and keeping the kids together. And then when you add a new student to the mix, you kind of have to re-quarantine those students together again.
Got it. I got it. Okay. I don't have any further questions unless somebody else does. I think I heard someone say something.
Yeah, as Ms.
I think it's Mr. Boyd, but Mr. Boyd, you're cutting off. Yeah, Mr. Boyd, you have there's bad connection. We cannot hear you. But Ms. Morehouse will like I see that she's raising her hand.
I'm wondering about those desk shields. So is every student getting a desk shield?
Yeah, every student who's coming to school next week, yes.
So say if the class is departmental, and some kids come to you first period, and then you get a different set of kids second period. So there's a chance that they might be sitting in that same desk where the person was the first period.
So our departmentalized students are not switching classes.
Even special ed and resource?
Yes, they shouldn't. So they should have resource students should have an assigned desk in your class.
Do you hear me now, Ms. Perez?
We can, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm thinking about, I'm not thinking about myself, I'm thinking about someone else.
Yeah. So any student who is in a resource class, they should have a desk that's assigned to themselves. Even so, essentially, they'll have two desks, one in their homeroom and one in their resource room. And we have many
So-
desks.
Okay. I'm just thinking about that sneeze you were talking about, or the cough.
Yeah, definitely so, and I hear you on that. That's why we need it. That's why I also message to teachers, like, I need for them to come in as best as they can to really take a look at their classrooms and set them up, right? And so this was and I know that everything is torn, but I just want to make, like, I can't set your classroom up for you because I don't know everything that's going on in your classroom and how you want to set it up. So, you know, one of the things we've been messaging to teachers is that you just need to let me know what you want, right? And so if you need extra desks, or we need extra desk shields, or we need extra things, I'll get them for you. That's not a problem.
That was my question.
Oh.
How was that? That was my question. How was they going to set how the room set up? How is that room set up because, you know, my child is going to that 5th grade class where it's 15 students at, and I would like to know how do they got the desk set up? Because, you know, he got asthma and he wants to come back. And I want to keep him back, but he wants to go. So I'm gonna allow him to go. But as a parent, well, he got his medication problem and asthma problems, and that's one is highly effective to that. COVID-19 is highly effective with asthma. How is the desk set up? How far apart is it for 15 students? Because I know how the classroom was. That was my question.
So from chair to chair, student to student, it's 6 feet apart. And then each one of the desks have a desk shield.
Okay.
So, you know, depending on, like, it's set up, and they're in rows. They're not in groups. Like, you know how we used to have them in groups? And all the desks were connected. They're all spaced apart. We're not in groups anymore.
Okay. That was it.
Okay, no problem.
Mr. Perez, can you touch base on the exploratory teachers and how that's going to look, and recess as well?
Yeah, so recess and lunch. So lunch, I'll give you the quick thing with lunch. So lunch is happening, and we're staggering lunches. Kids are going to go through the lunch. Well, let me rephrase that. Kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade will have their lunches delivered to their classrooms, and they'll eat in their classrooms. A recess monitor will go to their classroom, and the recess will happen in their classroom. So each class is going to have a recess box with games and activities to do in their classroom. We will then be rotating the outside recess. So essentially, hopefully, what we're hoping to get is that everybody will be able to go outside when weather permits, outside at least once a week. Excuse me, to play on the playground, and then it has to get disinfected, and then kids will be able to go on it again. So that's the way lunch is going to work for kindergarten through 2nd grade. 3rd through 8th grade will go through the line, grab their lunch tray, and then go to their classroom and eat lunch in their classroom. And we have it split up where while one classroom is getting the lunch, the other one is in their classroom doing recess. And then when that one class gets back, then the other class will go to the cafeteria and get their lunches at that time. And then in between those lunch periods, the line is sanitized as well. And then for exploratory teachers, which are music, digital reading, PE, and health, they will be, so the CPS rule is that they can only see 3 pods a day. So they're only going to see 3 classes in person, and then they will continue to do remote teaching from their classroom or office. And then we will have an adult in there to supervise the students while they're being taught remotely.
Does that mean Jim will be in the gym or no?
No, it will be in the classroom.
Where the desks are in rows?
That's correct.
But they can do 3 classes a day.
Yeah, and there are 5 periods a day.
And so
the other 2 classes will be taught remotely with a supervision adult in the room. while the
So
teacher
they're-
goes to their prep.
Technically exposed to the whole school or whoever's coming in, those 130 kids or
Wait.
whatever the number is. So, right, basically,
Whom?
the exploratory teachers, like in a given week, they'll be exposed to everyone that's in the building.
No, because we're only, again, remember, we're only here Thursday and Friday.
Oh, so so
6 total.
okay. Hmm. And so really, so mostly, it's very similar to just staying home.
Yes, it's similar, but it's good, you know, it just depends on who is teaching.
Well, I mean, like we're gonna come in and basically teach remotely. That's what it is. Coming in and teaching remotely, basically.
Well, you'll be doing simultaneous teaching, but yeah,
Right.
you'll be teaching students who are at home and students who are in front of you, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So they'll be doing both at the same time, teaching remotely and in class?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why we got the big screens with the computers and the webcams and all of that, so that they're able, so the kids who are at home are able to see what's happening in the classroom.
Okay. I think Ms. Flores had a question.
Yes, of course.
Ok, los niños que no vayan a la escuela y se quedan cogiendo clases en la casa, ¿cómo los maestros se va a hacer eso?
Con,
Yo te voy a hablar por mí. Ok, sabes que Yelian es autista, no se va a estar quieto, no se va a querer poner la máscara, tiene problemas en el corazón y es asmático y es alérgico a todos los detergentes, a la grama, a todo.
ok, so, ¿cuál es la pregunta?
¿Cómo se trabajaría eso los nenes que no van a ir a la escuela y se quedan en la casa?
Lo mismo que como lo están haciendo ahorita. So, van a hacer el aprendizaje por computadora y por la Google Meets y la Google Classroom. Lo mismo que están haciendo ahora. Pero
Ok.
los maestros lo que van a estar, los maestros en vez de estar en la casa, van a estar en el salón. Y después los niños que están en el salón van a recibir el mismo aprendizaje y lección que están ahí.
Ok. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So right now, the students are gonna go back to school twice a week, right?
Yes, Thursday and Friday.
During that time, are their pods being disinfected when they're away from it? How often is the classroom being disinfected?
So every night the classes will be disinfected. And then on Wednesdays, there is a deep cleaning that it happens with a mister.
And then is any other student going to be using that desk when the other, let's say the students from Monday are not going to be there on Thursday? Are they sharing desk or there's individual?
So so we don't have any students coming to school Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Oh,
So no student will be using that desk.
okay. Okay, got it.
They only have 2 days a week.
Huh?
Say that again?
We want 2 days a week, you say?
That's correct. Thursday and Friday only.
Okay. All right, so it's just gonna be those 2 days that students are gonna be there. They're not gonna be sharing DOS. So it's, okay, well, that's good to know.
Right.
Okay. Well, is there any other discussion in reference to this topic? No. All righty, so then we'll go ahead. Thank you, Perez, and everybody else. We'll go ahead and move forward to new business. We have parent representatives. We have Iris Martinez and Robert Boyd. So we know who Robert Boyd is now. Not sure who Iris Martinez.
She was interested in being on. I don't see her present. So we can just continue with Mr. Boyd at this time, and we will ask her to come to our next meeting.
Okay. So you want to go ahead and explain, because we will have to,
Yeah,
like you
so-
mentioned at the beginning.
So we have Mr. Boyd as one of our parent representatives under new business because he did run, he did receive 0 votes, and we would like to vote him in as a parent representative. Mr. Boyd, if you're more than welcome to speak now and let us know.
Go ahead. It's okay. I sent it in. I had something my vote in the mail, but I guess you didn't never get it. So.
Oh, yeah, some of those things came really late and then it was a whole thing. So that goes to LSC. Obviously I can speak for you. Mr. Boyd has been on our LSC now for, I think this is year 3 or year 4. He has a student here and he's really involved at our school, and we really would like him to be a part of the LSC. So I would like to motion to approve Mr. Boyd as one of our parents as a parent representative onto our local school council.
Yeah,
And I
I
will
second.
second the motion.
All right, so
Mr.
Mr.
Mr. Vogt, there was
Perez.
a nightmare in terms of voting. I didn't even get to vote. I didn't even know what happened with the whole process. So I didn't even vote myself in either. So I didn't even have a ballot.
There was a screw up.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
There is a motion, I'm
Open.
sorry, but there
I
is a
made the
motion on the
second.
table. I'm sorry, Mr. Calderon, there is a motion on the table. Mr. Perez motion to, for Mr. Boyd to get back on the LSC. Mr. Calderon second that motion. All in favor, just say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone
Aye.
against? No? Okay, so Mr. Boyd, welcome back.
We do have 3 other parent participants, so if we're still looking if there's anybody interested in that.
All righty, so then we'll move forward. Does anybody have questions? No? All right, so we'll move forward to old business. There is no old business. We'll move forward to public participation. Is there anybody in public participation, Perez?
Yes, there is. We have Miss Brown. Miss Brown, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'm going to actually keep the timer on, just so everybody knows, for 2 minutes.
So my question was, and this question is for you, Mr. Perez, directed to you. So, and I don't know if I should ask this here or should I do it in a staff meeting, but a couple of staff members came to me today and was questioning, they had concerns with when you come to the staff door, there's no one there to take the temperature, and they just concerned that anyone can walk in the building and be, positive or have COVID, and the person is walking around the building because no one is there taking our temperature as we come in. We have to take it ourselves. And the person actually told me they seen someone walk past and never did get their temperature taken. They were just walking through the building. So I don't know if you're going to have someone stationed there or what is the plan when we come in the door for temperature be taken and not people just taking it on their own.
So the plan for that is, so there's somebody there at 8 o'clock. And anytime after 8 o'clock is when when somebody should be there taking the temperature. If a teacher or staff member comes before 8 o'clock, they have to take their own temperature and mark it in the book. And that was the procedure that we laid out during our staff meeting. And the book is there along with the temporal thermometer.
Okay, so they were saying they came after 8 and no one was there. So we just wanted to know the protocol because some staff members do not feel safe with no one there taking the temperature. when they
Okay,
come
no
in,
problem. We'll make sure that we get that taken care of.
But I already take it back. Mhm.
I'm sorry?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Thank you. That's my only question.
All right.
Sorry, I was muted.
And then we have an S. Ruiz here as well. Miss Ruiz?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm the Mia Ruiz and Brian Otero and Alexander Perez,
Yes.
foster parents and grandma of Mia. My concern is if the students are gonna exchange classrooms. I'm talking about Mia and Alexander.
No, so middle school students will not be changing classrooms. The teachers will be changing classrooms.
Oh, okay, perfect. So that was my concern. Other than that, I don't have nothing else to say.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much for coming today.
No problem.
Hi.
Is there anybody else for us?
There is nobody else with their hand raised. Ms. Torres, there is nobody else.
But you know what, just want to just bring up something really quick, just what Ms. Brown brought up about if somebody gets to school late, let's a staff member, so that so there is not going to be anyone at the door taking temperatures.
So there is somebody there starting at 8 o'clock. Remember, we start at 9. And at starting at 8 o'clock, we have somebody at the door taking temperature and checking and marking it in the book for staff. And then it's from 8 until 9:15. Then that door is locked. And then anybody else has to come through the main door. And through the main door, we have our security officers there, and they're taking temperatures of everybody who comes in there.
Oh, we're speaking about the other side of the building.
Yeah, we're talking about the staff door where the staff parking lot is.
Okay. So is every staff member going to be required to enter through the main entrance if they're late?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. How it's, you know what, now that it just came up, is the front door fixed? Because I know that there was, the door stays unlocked.
So that's part of the process that I mentioned during the budget. We're going to be purchasing a new keyless entry thing so that it does lock. So it does now shut. It does shut by itself to lock. But the issue is the keypad was reset, and it's reset to a number, and then we have to reset all the numbers again. And then what ends up happening is we still have students who have the numbers. So we're going to change the lock all together. And then we're just going to, we're going to have a fob. And then those fobs will be the little, you know what a fob is, right? The little keychain thing that teachers have. And then that they're able to open that way without using a keypad.
Oh, that's good. Okay. That is good. All righty. So, does anybody else have any comments, any concerns, any questions? I do have to, if everybody does have time after the meeting, I do need LSC only to stay after, just for maybe 5-10 minutes, just to discuss just a few things. Are we able to do that, Perez? Yes. Okay. All right, does anybody else have any questions? Is there anybody else on public participation? No?
Do you need to go to closed session? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay, then that you need to motion to go to closed session.
Or we can just do it at the other meeting. I can just put it on the agenda.
It's up to you. I mean, we just have to motion to go to closed session. That's all.
Yeah?
It's up to you.
Does everyone on the LSC members, can you guys go into closed session?
Motion to go into closed session.
Okay. Well, Mr. Caldero motion to go into closed session after the meeting.
A second.
Mr. Boyd second that motion. All in favor?
I don't know where Miss Lejarde went.
Aye.
This in regard to.
I'm sorry?
What is it in regard to?
What do you, I'm not on, I can't hear what she's saying.
What is it in regard?
Oh, it's the LSC positions. Okay, so
So we're gonna go
It's-
ahead and move in to close